That's a good bet. Kevin Corke live for us in D.C. Kevin, thank you. Let's bring in California GOP Chairwoman Jessica Malone Patterson and Independent Women Features Editor-in-Chief Kaylee McGee-White. Thank you both for coming on. I mean, he talked about the Biden speech today. Kaylee McGee-White, to you first. It took 16 hours. He spoke for 3 minutes. It was total teleprompter because the teleprompter went down at one point. Not really confidence-inducing. What did you think?
No, and that's what makes this tragedy so much more alarming is the fact that apparently we have a commander-in-chief who can barely be dragged out of bed to give a few brief remarks on how he's still being updated before shuffling off, refusing to take any questions. And again, this is hours after the crisis began to unfold. In fact, President-elect Donald Trump released a statement of his own before Biden had even said a word publicly. This is extremely concerning. And a big question that I have for the American public is no one concerned that Biden's apparent physical weakness could potentially invite further crises like these?
Yeah.
A lot of us have been warning since the election that we were entering a very dangerous period of time where our enemies know that they have a limited time frame in which to act because of Biden's weakness and because of Trump's projected strength. Well, we're experiencing the consequences of that now. And God help us, Trace, because we have 19 days left with Biden still in office.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Senator John Kennedy, the senator from Louisiana, had this to say. Watch.
There are things that I've been told that I think are true that I'm not sharing with you today because it could interfere with their investigation. But after we get to the bottom of this, they need to tell the American people the truth, and the people of New Orleans the truth, and the people of America the truth. When it is appropriate and this investigation is complete, you will find out what happened and who was responsible, or I will raise fresh hell.
He's intimating that the people don't trust the FBI, Jessica. That's what he's saying. I mean, the drones, no answer. The Chinese spy balloon, no answer. Russian collusion, got nothing for you. The border is closed. People don't trust the FBI, and that's what he's saying.
And it's a really sad state now in America. We saw in November, people were saying, we need change. What the Biden-Harris administration has done to our country is not where we need to be. We have seen the weakened position that we are on the international stage. We see crime. We see an open border. These are all concerns that Americans had at the top of their list. That's why it's so critical that early on, we need to make sure that the appointments for President Trump, whether it's Homeland Security, Department of Justice, his intelligence people, they all need to be confirmed immediately so President Trump can get to work on fixing our problems. I
mean, I can't tell you, Kaylee McGee-White, how many times today I heard from members of Congress, hey, maybe Kash Patel goes in there and he fixes this thing so people actually start trusting the FBI again.
Well, let's hope, because public trust in the FBI is at an all-time low for this century. That's what a recent poll found just this year. And that, again, is exacerbating this crisis. And the problem with the FBI, they've given conflicted messaging at first. You know, they're coming around on different details of this story. Again, no one trusts what they have to say. And the problem is that the FBI has abandoned its primary mission, which is securing the domestic security of this nation. And instead, they've pursued a political agenda, often at the expense of our national security. And a great question for Kash Patel, if he's confirmed, or even for lawmakers who want to investigate this further, is how many FBI special agents and investigators were deferred to the prosecutions of Donald Trump over the past year? How many of those special agents were assigned specifically to January 6th cases? Because I don't think we're going to like the answers, Trace, and we might just find that that political agenda has cost American lives.
Yeah, and I've got about 35 seconds for you, but the first thing the FBI came out this morning, Jessica, we've talked about this, said, is this is not a terror attack. They saw the ISIS flag. They knew, at the very least, they don't know whether it's a terror. To say it's not, it erodes trust even further.
It absolutely does. And it was right for President Trump to immediately direct our attention to the crime that is happening all over our country. This is what a Biden-Harris administration had brought us, and this is why the American people said we need something different.
Yeah, and I very quickly want to read this. This is Senator Josh Hawley put this up. The Senate should demand the public testimony of Alejandro Mayorkas and the FBI Director Wray immediately. That duo has been skipping out on hearings for months. Now there's been a deadly attack on American soil. They need to provide answers. Jessica, Kaylee McGee-White, thank you both. Our live coverage of the deadly New Year's Eve truck attack in New Orleans continues.